NNPC in talks with Chinese FEB to revive Nigeria's refinery. Vodafone QR revenue 6.5% on African's Europe growth. China to grant duty-free access to select South African export. Space satellite launches internet service in Senegal. UNDP opens application for Pan-Africa EDTECH incubation program. And away from Africa, Irish Attorney General raises issues on banning service from Israeli settlement. In health, West Africa launches roadmap to ensure LASSA fever vaccine access. In business, SMEDAN, MOMO PSB partners to boost digital tool for small businesses. And finally, in sport, Pan-Africa President Belt Boxing Championship set for April. Still in sport, Nigerian Cricket Federation set for Women's T20 and Under-17 Championship. Nigeria's national oil company NNPC says it is in advanced talk with a Chinese firm to restart operation at the country's state-owned refineries. The announcement was made by the company's chief executive, Bashir Ojalari, at the Nigerian's International Energy Summit in Abuja. NNPC is seeking experienced partners to take minority stakes and operate the Port Harcourt, Owerri, and Kaduna refineries, which have a combined capacity of 445,000 barrels per day. The new plan focuses on financing, hiring a competent engineering contractor, and ensuring world-class operation after years of unsuccessful rehabilitation efforts. The move is aimed at reducing Nigerian reliance on imported fuel and making the refinery profitable and self-financing. Officials said the strategy reformed part of wider reforms to attract investment and reposition Nigeria as a future exporter of refined petroleum products. In another news, Vodafone has reported a 6.5% increase in third quarter revenue to 10.5 billion euros, driven by strong growth across Africa and Europe. The company says it remains on track to deliver results at the upper end of its full-year financial guidance. Service revenue rose 7.3% to 8.5 billion euros, supported by performance in Turkey and African markets, where digital financial service recorded major gains. Vodafone Clash in Egypt grew by 60%, while M-Parcel revenue increased by 24%. 24.6% growth was also supported by the merger with Three UK and the acquisition of Telecom Romania assets. Despite the strong revenue performance, operating profile fell due to merger and acquisition activity and accounting impact links to the simplification of its Indian business. Vodafone said it will continue expanding digital service, strengthening regional operation, and pursuing strategic acquisition to drive long-term growth. China is set to allow duty-free imports of certain South African products under a trade deal being finalized as Pretoria seeks to diversify its market. The agreement will be signed by South African Trade Minister Park Teo during his visit to China, the Trade Minister said. The deal aimed to boost South African export to China and attract investment to the country. While specific sectors benefiting from the duty-free arrangement have not been disclosed, South Africa mainly exports minerals and agricultural products to China, its largest trading partner since 2023. The visit also includes discussion with Chinese companies interested in investing in South Africa. The move comes as South Africa's sixth alternative market and at tension with the United States, which imposed 30% tariff on some South African goods last year. Moving forward, Space Starlight's internet service, STARLINK, has officially gone live in Senegal, expanding high-speed and low-latency connectivity to the country. The rollout marks another step in the company's global expansion aimed at improving internet access in undeserved regions. The service is expected to deliver faster and more reliable connection for both residents and business users. Customers in Senegal can now sign up and order the service through Starlink official platforms. The launch supports wider efforts to bridge Africa's digital divide, particularly in remote areas. Is expected to improve access to online service, education, and business opportunities across the country. The United Nations Development Programme has opened application for the Get Ready for Timbuktu EDTECH incubation program for African education technology sets up. The 3-month online initiative targets setups with working prototypes across the continent. Up to 15 setups will receive tailored diagnostics, specialized training, weekly mentorship, and access to grants. Participants will also gain entry into Timbuktu Innovation Network to support growth and collaboration. Applications are open to startups around Africa until February 8, 2026 this year as part of effort to strengthen the continent's education technology ecosystem. We'll go on a quick break now. The news continues when we get back.
Democratize generative AI. Generative AI, which creates new content like text, images, or music, is becoming more accessible. This trend is enabling businesses and individuals to leverage powerful AI tools without needing deep technical expertise. Tools like DALL-E are already transforming marketing, entertainment, and design. However, as generative AI becomes democratized, concerns about copyright infringement and misuse of content are rising.
Welcome back and thanks for joining us. And now away from Africa. Ireland Attorney General has highlighted legal and practical challenges in extending proposed trade cones with Israeli settlement to service, a junior minister said today. The advice comes as Dublin considers expanding a law initiative focused on goods to reduce services from the Israeli-occupied West Bank. Officials say limiting the bill to goods would affect only a small volume of imports, while including service could complicate dealings with multinational companies in Israel and operating in technology and other sectors. The government has sought detailed guidance to ensure any legislation is legally robust and can withstand challenges. Ireland, one of the European Union's most vocal critics of Israeli action in Gaza, first proposed the law in October 2024. Similar measures have been introduced or considered by Slovenia, Spain, the Netherlands, and Belgium with the EU. And now in health, West Africa has launched the LASSA fever end-to-end access roadmap, a regional land framework to secure equitable access to safe and effective Lassa fever vaccine once approved. The initiative, led by the West African Health Organization with support from the CEPI, aimed to strengthen epidemic preparedness and long-term health security across the region. Lassa fever remains a serious public health threat, causing thousands of deaths annually and causing fragile health system. The roadmap focuses on early planning, uninterrupted vaccine supply, and coordinated access, ensuring countries are ready before vaccine becomes available. Experts said this approach is formed by lessons from past epidemics. The framework covers the full vaccine pathway, including research, regulation, manufacturing, financing, procurement, delivery, and sustainability. It was developed through board consultation with government, technical experts, civil society, and global partners, reflecting West African commitment to regional ownership and collaboration with epidemic preparedness. And now in business, MOMO Payment Service Bank has partnered with the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria to support the growth and digital transformation of small and medium-scale businesses. The partnership was formalized with the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding at the MOMO PSB head office in Victoria Island, Lagos. The agreement will provide registered small business with access to MOMO digital tools, including mobile applications, point of sale service, USSDs, and partner platforms. The tools are designed to help business owners accept payment, manage staff salary, oversee multiple shops, and track operations from a single system. The collaboration also includes capacity building program and access to new revenue opportunities within the MOMO and the MTN ecosystem. Both organizations say the initiative aims to reduce operational challenges, improve cash flow, and support the long-term growth of small businesses. And finally, in sports, Heritage Boxing Entertainment has announced plans to stage the President Belt, a Pan-Africa Professional Boxing Championship in April. The event will feature fighters from Nigeria and across Africa. Organizers said the championship honors the legacy of Alhaji Abibatu Ashabi Mugaji, mother of President Bola Tinubu, and aim to promote boxing and youth development. The event is being supported by the Gabija for Governor Group. Several top fighters are expected to compete, including undefeated middleweight champion Oluwatosin Samson and HBE national champion Chiwendu Akaolisa. Organizers said the tournament will showcase leading boxing talent from across the continent. And still in sport, the Nigerian Cricket Federation says preparations are underway for two major events in 2026 focused on women cricket and grassroots development. The women's national team, the female Yellow-Green, will regroup in March for the women's T20 international tournament after a one-year break. The competition is expected to attract regional teams and provide match experience for elites and emerging players ahead of international engagement. Nigeria won the tournament in 2023 before losing the title to Tanzania in 2024. Meanwhile, the seventh national under-7 championship will begin with zonal qualifiers from February 10th to 23rd across the 6 geopolitical zones. The Federation says the tournament remains a key pathway for discovering young cricket talent in Nigeria. And that's all we have for you on Idea TV News Update. But before we go, here's a recap of the headlines. NNPC in talks with Chinese firm to revive Nigeria's refinery. Vodafone QR revenue 6.5% on Africans' Europe growth. China to grant duty-free access to select South African export. Space satellite launches internet service in Senegal. UNDP opens application for Pan-Africa EDTECH incubation program. And away from Africa, Irish Attorney General raises issues on banning service from Israeli settlement. In health, West Africa launches roadmap to ensure LASSA fever vaccine access. In business, SMEDAN, MOMO PSB partners to boost digital tool for small businesses. And finally, in sports, Pan-Africa President Belt Boxing Championship set for April. Still in sport, Nigerian Cricket Federation set for Women's T20 and Under-17 Championship. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms at Idea Television. I am Mary Ojumajo. Thank you for watching.